This is actually one of the things that I want to show Americans in general, because like people have this like false notion that it's
I want to show them that they'll just bother you for a few minutes about what you're filming. They won't black bag you, at least.
People have this like false notion that it's like they will arrest you for a meme or whatever. It's not like that at all. Okay, calm down. It's funny because like I've dealt with.
They literally bothered you to check your phone about fucking memes. You stupid fucking. What do you?
The cops at this point all around the world,
okay.
as you guys know.
It's Slop o'clock. You'll never guess what was in the news. The front page of the tabloids the other day.
To my friend.
You guys have no idea how much I've had to reconsider all of my life decisions after this. First of all, bear in mind that this is a person who accused me of doing a paid propaganda tour in the fine Jewish state of Israel and in Palestine, I guess. Hasan's been to China, you guys. Hasan, China. What? Guess what happened on the first day?
Roger, you seen this? Oh yeah. Look. Yeah. 这是什么呀？他录个视频。你是他导游？没有。Oh, that's a film. Stop. Okay. 我是他导游啊。他就过来招待一下。
Where did this clip come from? Is this just the bad audio, or did someone just like put their camera in front of their laptop? What the fuck?
OK， 要看直播的东西是吗？对，我看一眼刚你那 photo。So he wants to see the photo.
Oh, I didn't take a photo.
There is a vid with subtitles. Well, if you can link that to me in Discord, you can fire it away.
就刚才他录那个，让他找出来。So have you recorded anything?
No, not yet.
No. 我都看见了。Yeah, he said he saw.
直播还是什么呀？ Oh, I was holding the camera out, but I didn't do anything yet.
Wait, she asked if they'd recorded anything, but they're clearly live streaming. But they just said no because they're technically because of what? They'd probably want to know if you were live streaming. But okay.
手机弄一背景，那是什么东西？把它打出来。
Still recording?
刚才那个背景。
So he wants to see the background of your.
Of my phone?
Yeah.
Sure.
Or like a live show. Or,
Other phone.
Oh. Another phone.
Technically not recording, Pepe. True. Secret memes. Be right back. Okay, let's see.
Good on there, but my internet is not so good. Okay, we'll
on your
back. Okay,
the internet on your phone isn't good?
We're back.
We're just waiting for Will to get out of the bathroom now.
What the fuck is he wearing? Is he like a? Does he have fleas? What? Okay.
Yeah.
Which I wonder if there's a line to the bathroom.
Okay, so yeah, like a neck brace. Yeah. So when he goes and yaps, away about how China's like really cool, and it's the real authoritarians are the United States. He goes and gets fucking bothered in Tiananmen Square about whether or not he's filming, right? Because obviously Tiananmen Square, the Chinese government, they do a lot of political censorship. That's basically what they do. They censor. They are censorious. They're an authoritarian regime. They don't like people fucking around. They have an especially big thing about how nothing really happened at Tiananmen Square. There was no shootings or massacres or anything like that. Definitely none of that shit. This is the incident I was referring to in the clip. No one has just walked into our hotel rooms here. I feel infinitely safer in China versus the US. I love it. Like, these guys are literally doing a propaganda tour. You understand this, right? They're doing a propaganda tour. They're there
Roger,
to try and force feed people the idea that China is fucking based and the United States is actually the real that's the real land of fear when it comes to dealing with authorities.
Whenever the police showed up, they thought so. This is actually whenever the police showed up, they thought so. That thing that we went to, okay, the flag raising ceremony is not in focus. Hold on, I'm gonna fix it.
Let's hear the spin. Let's hear the goddamn spin.
Fix it. the flag raising
Because
ceremony.
the fact is you literally just got harassed because of political censorship. That's what happened. You got bothered because of a censorious regime trying to make sure that no one's fucking about brackets, taking pictures that might be bad, like involve like deriding the regime in any way.
That we went to is not a thing that white people normally go to, right? It's not normally something that like white people attend, right? And I assume that they are.
We know this as well because every time you watch one of these fucking documentaries or about whether it's like AP or whatever, going to, or Vice, like talking about going into Xinjiang to look at the fucking schools, the re-education camps. There'll be a cop over within like 2 minutes telling you to stop filming. Like it's a very normal story that you hear about for tourists or for journalists or anyone else going around China. So
probably extra attentive and extra careful about people coming to do some fuck shit.
Do some fuck shit being what? Like what? What fuck shit? Filming stuff. Making comments they don't like. Fuck shit.
Like
Hasan.
there's a reason why, for example, there were Chinese nationals on each other's backs, right? But I knew that like if we did it, we would get called out by cops. Because like by and large, especially like the government is aware of like how they are perceived or how much like anti-Chinese propaganda exists out there. And I think the older people are also aware of it as well. But I think the younger populations in China are ironically enough less aware. Like the younger normies are less aware of the animosity that exists, which shouldn't exist at all, obviously, but unfortunately does. And it's almost entirely one-sided. It's entirely designed by America.
It's entirely designed by America. No one else has issues with China. Definitely none of their neighbors. Definitely not most of their neighbors, actually. There's anti-Chinese propaganda, so that's why we need to be fucking cagey about people filming in a public space. Dude, I listen. I do owe some people an apology, okay? I know like the sort of like irritated viewers, the feisty viewers, the former viewers, some of you, okay? I apologize to you. Yes, I'm very sorry. I don't hate this guy enough. I haven't obsessed with this guy enough, okay? My unhealthy obsession with this person and how fucking stupid he is actually not pronounced. And I cannot believe he would be this fucking this blunt. Like, how moronic do you have to be to go to China, a country that you're clearly planning on doing propaganda for, to get your narrative contradicted on fucking day one, where some cops come up to you for the quote unquote suspicious behavior of filming in a public space. And obviously it's in a site where China famously, like, the regime famously suppresses information from their population about what happened there. The whole story about if you try to look up fucking Tank Man in China, like you won't find anything. Like it's, and then he has that happen to him and then justifies it. Like what the fuck? It's funny that thing he's saying as well. We say, oh yeah, there's a lot of propaganda out there. There's a lot of people who want to fuck us up. People are on edge. That's really similar to what the security guy in Israel told me in the airport. But that was a security interview, right? A 1.5 hour wait for the passport processing, whatever the fuck, background check probably, and then half an hour interviewing with the guy. They were saying, like, the guy was like, oh yeah, we have to do this because, like there's a lot of threats where there's a war going on. There's obviously a lot of people who want to do bad things. They got like, okay, whatever, fucking kind of annoying, but you do you. In that country, I was actually still allowed to go to a fucking Nakba site and film it and say, oh yeah, this is where the Deir Yassin massacre happened. Because I did that. I was able to go on into the West Bank and to talk about, oh yeah, there was a settler riot over here, or there are some bullets casings here left by settlers, or there's an IDF operation here that set fire to a fucking fruit market. I was able to do all that and publish it on Twitter. Like, but you're running defense for a regime that did what to you? For doing what? Where? Like, fucking hell. Dude.
Well, yeah, we're white. So as foreigners in China.
Oh yeah, he's trying to make it about being white as well. Oh god, he's so retarded, man. It's
obviously, but unfortunately does. And it's almost entirely one-sided. It's entirely designed by America. Well, yeah, we're white. So as foreigners in China at this like national event rather than an international one, where, as you guys noticed, like they didn't...
He's trying to make it about him being white because he wants people to think it's about, oh yeah, well, our place in the imperial core, because he's trying to make it look like they're like China's the oppressed ones. That's what he's doing there. We're saying we're white. Oh, so it's like it's members of the it's citizens of the imperial core. So we need to treat them with extra caution, you know, because they'll fuck up our country and our well-being and our national security. Like fucking hell, man, bro. He showed off his knowledge of Mao Zedong quotes at dinner in Beijing. Yeah, it's the fucking nerve, man. The nerve of this absolute fucking terminally shagged, brain-rotted fucking authoritarian, dick-sucking, LARPing retard to tell me that what I did was a propaganda tour. Really? You fucking kidding me? Go to Tiananmen Square tomorrow, Hasan, and tell them what happened there with the fucking guy with the tank or with the students getting shot. Talk about that. Tell me how that goes. Because I can go to Israel, I can go to fucking any Nakba village and tell the entire fucking planet what happened there and walk around and do the historian arms and be like, it was here when the IDF and the Haganah, the Etzel, when they approached with the dangerous weapons. Like, I can do all that shit, right? Go do that in Tiananmen Square. Tell me how it goes. Oh, but actually, you know, that's when you have to look at the Chinese state and their authoritarian measures against a backdrop of whiteness. What do you think a Chinese police officer is going to profile you for more likely? People who look white or people who look Muslim, Hasan? What kind of person do you think gets profiled more aggressively in China by the police? Someone who looks like a white imperial core agent or someone who looks like a Muslim? Because you're Muslim every other time someone's fucking mean to you, but you become white when China's mean to you. Okay.
Didn't have any like foreigners there at all. He thought he saw something on the phone. Like he thought we were like making a mockery. You know what I mean? They didn't realize that we were swagged out white boys who love China. Are you being careful with your words? No, I'm just telling you like it is. Like they thought they were being extra attentive to make sure that, you know, no one is making fun of Mao or anything like that. Or this.
Why is that okay? They're just trying to make sure, dude. Imagine being at fucking Buckingham Palace and the dude with the big brush on his head, the guy with the big muff head who stands still with a big bayonet rifle points it at you. Oh yeah, no, don't worry about that, dude. He's just trying to make sure that you know, no one's making fun of good King Edward I, Hammer of the Scots, peace be upon him. Okay.
Ceremony, and that's what they were. That's what it was. It's normal for police to take a close look at foreigners to make sure that white people don't do some shit. Yeah, it's just yeah, it's a cultural difference.
Some shit. I love it how they can't even specify. They can't even specify. It's a cultural difference. It's a cultural difference. I'm gonna kill myself, man. Oh my god.
And also, they just don't want anyone to pull a fucking Logan Paul or anything like that. How was it resolved? What do you mean? We just like talk to him. We just were like, no, that's not. You know, we're not doing that at all. We're just here to experience the event. You know. I told you would end up in jail. You got lucky this time. Yeah, okay, calm down. That's not. You're being ridiculous. This is actually one of the things that I want to show Americans in general, because like people have this like false notion that it's
I want to show them that they'll just bother you for a few minutes about what you're filming. They won't black bag you, at least.
People have this like false notion that it's like they will arrest you for a meme or whatever. It's not like that at all. Okay, calm down. It's funny because like I've dealt with.
They literally bothered you to check your phone about fucking memes. You stupid fucking retard. What do you?
Cops at this point all around the world, as you guys know.
That's fine.
So as far as like cops that I've dealt with all around the world, you know, European cops in France, American cops, European cops in other European countries, and even Japanese cops as well, I will say that it's not even remotely up there. The further west you go, the worse cops get, the more aggressive they get. America being the worst one out of all of them.
Fucking hell, man. How this is some people, because they can't read between the lines or whatever, they don't actually believe Hasan would put people in re-education camps, because he never literally said, okay. This is why he absolutely would, right? Because how the fuck else would you ever convince a majority of any population to be this fucking stupid without torturing the shit out of them until they just say it, whether they believe it or not? Like, you need re-education camps to convince any sizable number of people in a country to believe this fucking nonsense. Like, what the fuck? Americans, the further west you go, the worse the Are you fucking mental, dude? Are you fucking insane? What the fuck? The further west, man. Give me a map. I just want to test this theory. Well, all these countries here, Russia, Mongolia, China, Kazakhstan, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Taliban's Afghanistan, by the way, Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, Japan, South Korea. Well, they're all east of Israel, so that fits. That theory fits perfectly, okay? Never mind. Okay, Oman, Saudi, Yemen, but you go westward and it's worse. The Saudi cops are definitely more chill than anything in Europe, right? Same with UAE, same with Oman, same with Yemen. Even down here, United States being the worst. Compared to fucking what? Oh my God. Have you ever seen the way that even the difference between like British police and Dutch police versus like French and Spanish and Italian when it comes to dealing with football games? Even then, there's a pretty big difference. But what the fuck, man? Yeah, so the finest cops on earth are the Australians because they're the ones that are roughing up Drew Pavlou. True. How up your own fucking ass do you have to be? Like, how detached from reality do you have to be to say a sentence like that? This is why he needs re-education camps. His society wouldn't exist without one. It would be impossible to sustain this level of stupidity. Fuck.
Whenever the police showed up, they thought, so that thing that we went to, okay, the flag raising ceremony is not in focus. Hold on, I'm gonna fix it. The flag raising ceremony that we went to is not a thing that white people normally go to, right? It's not normally something that like white people attend, right? And I assume that they are probably extra attentive and extra careful about people coming to do some fuck shit. Like, there's a reason why, for example, there were Chinese nationals on each other's backs, right? But I knew that like if we did it, we would get called out by cops. Because like by and large, especially like the government is aware of like how they are perceived or how much like anti-Chinese propaganda exists out there. And I think the older people are also aware of it as well. But I think the younger populations in China are ironically enough less aware. Like the younger normies are less aware of the animosity that exists, which shouldn't exist at all, obviously, but unfortunately does. And it's almost entirely one-sided, entirely designed by America. But yeah, we're white. So as foreigners in China at this like national event rather than an international one, where as you guys noticed, like they didn't have any like foreigners there at all. He thought he saw something on the phone. Like he thought we were like making a mockery. You know what I mean? They didn't realize that we were swagged out white boys who love China. Are you being careful with your words? No, I'm just telling you like it is. Like they thought they were being extra attentive to make sure that no one is making fun of Mao or anything like that or the ceremony, and that's what they were that's what it was. It's normal for police to take close to foreigners to make sure that white people don't do stupid shit. Yeah, it's just
I love it's
a cultural difference, like, and also they just don't want anyone to pull a fucking Logan Paul or anything like that. How was it resolved? What do you mean? We just like talk to them.
Wait,
we just
were
like, no,
this
that's
clip
not.
Just doubled up? What the fuck?
It's people have this like false notion that it's like they will arrest you for a meme or whatever. It's not like that at all. Okay, calm down. It's funny because like I've dealt with cops at this point all around the world, as you guys know.
Yeah, it is okay. Not making fun of Mao. Oh my God. Holy shit, man. Absolutely fucking minging. So much authoritarian cock. He's lying. There are signs you're not allowed to film videos there and they violated them. Source was there 2 years ago. Okay. No, you don't understand.
The reality of the matter is, okay, like briefly being questioned by a cop outside of Tiananmen Square is, it's a unique moment of stress.
It's not unique. It's not even that though. Like, it's not even that. It's the fact that you're so defensive of it. Because obviously, if that happened with an American cop, you'd be talking about fucking ACAB and doing press rounds about how you were detained and how they're threatened and how the regime is coming after you and how Trump has put a personal fucking bounty on your tiny little head. But when it's China, oh, you don't understand, they got problems with the white people. It's because I'm white, they got a thing about white people, yeah. No other ethnic group that they could have possibly been racially profiling that I like to ascribe to.
It happens, right? But like, what is so insane to me is that like, I'm a person who has had altercations with American police. I'm a person who's had altercations with police in European capitals, I've interacted with cops all around the world.
Altercations in what regard? Like when you can probably see European cops being more rough, like when there's a riot maybe, or when they're apprehending someone. Is that what he's gonna compare like a riot? He's gonna compare fucking riot police. to he's gonna compare riot police to fucking being asked being like bothered at Tiananmen Square over whether you're filming or what's on your phone.
I've gone to protests. I've been tear gassed. I've been pepper sprayed.
Have you been tear gassed and pepper sprayed since when?
I've been, you know, I've been stun grenaded. Like a stun grenade exploded in my head. Like
In your head. What?
near my head.
Near. Oh, okay. I know he was at No Kings protest or whatever, but is this like this is like the thing where you say you were in a fight as a school kid, but you were actually like fucking 20 meters away from it, bouncing around and cheering. Like, if a fucking stun grenade did actually explode in his head, that would probably explain quite a lot. That would explain everything, really, if it happened about 10 years ago. God, what I should really, I could never see myself doing this, like this level of fucking milking. I feel like I'm very honest about what happened to me when I was in Israel with different like situations, whether it was not with the settler fucking overlord guy in the West Bank, or with the fucking Hezbollah people over the hill, or with imagine if I went and said like, oh yeah, I got fucking skunk sprayed at the anti-war protest in Tel Aviv. Because I saw it happen to other people. It happened like maybe 10, 15 meters away from me. So, okay, well, shit. Who got sanctioned, by the way? Yeah, but can you imagine if I started fucking doing apologia for that fucking settler warlord who held on to our passports and wouldn't give them back until his little fucking soldier mates turned up? The guy with the hillbilly settler fucking terrorist freak with a rifle coming up to us, taking our passports. Can you imagine if I was like, oh yeah, but you know, you understand, there's a lot of left-wing activists out there. You know, they like to do content and to make it Israel look bad and to undermine the Jewish state and the propaganda. Like, fuck me. Don't forget the bridge. Oh yeah, what is that? Like they opened a bridge in China and then it collapsed. That's just, I like it that this happened when Hasan was there. Hopefully no one was hurt, but me when I build a bridge. Oh no. Hate it when that happens. All these people be talking about Hasbara, okay? But who's talking about Chasbara, okay? What the fuck? What a mess. L Bridge.
In March's head when we were in Los Angeles in my own fucking backyard. And it's so crazy that brief interaction of you know, a bunch of like one, not even a bunch of, like one young Chinese cop /
You were asked questions by TSA for fucking 20 minutes and you made a fucking news cycle out of it, you narcissistic, pathetic, fucking brain-rotted cunt. Like, what are we talking about here? And if I recall correctly, you made a whole thing about how you didn't actually let the TSA guys see your phone. Wasn't that part of the exchange? What happened to ACAB? No, that's only for the cops of democracies, of which I reap all the benefits of living in. That's what ACAB actually means. It's only Western-aligned liberal democracies cops that are bastards. All the other cops have understandable security concerns, like people making fun of Chairman Mao. Anyway.
Soldier, I don't know if he was a cop or if he was a soldier or not, like, showing up to be like, what the fuck's on your phone? And like having like a 1 minute altercation has been blown up into this much more significant thing. Like, I've been detained by my own country, man. Like,
God, that's that's really familiar, isn't it? What, somebody who makes a whole thing out of a very brief altercation.
Honestly,
what happens when an American cop talks to you?
So, honestly, I think.
Make a shout out. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Peace. Happy New Year.
You too. ACAB.
Honestly,
Oh, this place is good. So,
honestly, I think
Like a shout out. How you doing?
You should say that in China. Next time a Chinese cop gives you some shit, like says Happy New Year to you, say go mouth a little ACAB afterwards. Do it live. Tell me what happens next. AC cab. All Chinese cops are bastards. Dude, what you got to lose? They only go after legitimate concerns.
what's going on, man?
Peace. Happy New Year.
You too. ACAB. I've been detained by my own country, my own country's Customs and Border Protection and Customs and Border Patrol, and we're talking about like a cop coming up and being a little aggro. First and foremost, here's the thing. Okay. First things first. What does he say? Hasan Piker declares, I don't have any patriotism for America while streaming from Tiananmen Square. No, I said I don't have any patriotism in general, which is why I don't like I find it fascinating that the Chinese people do. That was my point. I was.
Oh yeah. Why is that fascinating that people from other countries have every country in the world has people who are patriotic in it. Even countries that despise their regimes, if they ever come out against the regime, they'll carry a flag like when they do it. Oh, that's so fast. I don't why? I don't love America. Why is it that these people love China? I don't know. Maybe it's because some people, despite reaping all the benefits of living in the country they do, are the most spoiled fucking dribbling bitch babies about it, that they will just act like somehow the country still hasn't done enough for them and still complain and still actually make it sound like the liberal democracy that they reap the benefits of living in and get to talk shit about all the time is actually one of the worst countries with one of the worst police forces compared to fucking what? Look at this. The world is a rough place. Look at it, man. Pick your poison. Fucking Venezuela. Fucking Chile. Fucking Brazil. Fucking Mexico. Fucking Honduras. Nicaragua. El Salvador. Fucking Libya. Chad. Niger. Algeria. Mali. Angola. Namibia. Botswana. Fucking Sudan. Saudi. Yemen. Oman. Israel. Iran. Pakistan. Afghanistan. And you're like, oh, the American cops. That's the really rough police force. Fuck it. Russia. North Korea, but they've got legitimate security concerns in the public square. You know, they got legitimate concerns because every now and then, some very fucking unhinged lunatic will say something bad about Kim Jong-un, and that is a cause for concern.
The reality of the matter is, okay, like briefly being questioned by a cop outside of Tiananmen Square is. You know, it's a unique moment of stress. It happens, right? But like, what is so insane to me is that like I'm a person who has had altercations with American police. I'm a person who's had altercations with police in European capitals.
Okay. These clips are very seamless. Like fucking tectone. Hasan's shadow. Is this the dude that Destiny said fucked a kid? Isn't this the guy who... Okay, well done, buddy. Fucking nutter. Whoa. That's just made me so fucking mad, man. It's the fact that he goes and does this after accusing me of doing a propaganda tour. It's so disgusting, man. Ugh. Ugh! I'm curious now. If he's live streaming this, I have one question. Sorry, I just have one question. I might not have time for a proper. Has Hasan, have you watched these streams in China?
I watched a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Has he mentioned the Uyghurs or Xinjiang?
No, I don't think so. He might have not in the time, not in the time I've watched.
Do you think he will on stream?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. But
Curious.
yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
What's your story?
I don't think like I don't think they'll detain him if he says like he disagrees with what's happening to the Uyghurs. Fuck, I was trying to pronounce it. However, I was trying to pronounce it the Turkish way. Uyghurs in China. I don't think they'll like arrest him or like black bag him or whatever the hell. I don't think they'll do that. But I understand what the police do, what the police did though in the Tiananmen Square thing. They just had to make sure he's not like Drew Pavlo. So they had to make sure that like he wouldn't like disrupt the event. Like sadly there's a lot of like Drew Pavlos in the world, so they have to make sure that he's not one of them.
What's wrong with being a Drew Pavlo in a different country? What if he was just like, oh, what if he just went there and he was like,
what's wrong with being Drew Pavlo? First of all, you would be morbidly obese. That's one thing.
Yeah, I know. You'd also you'd be a lot of things. I'm asking you specifically though, with just like with doing what in particular. Like, what if he went there and he said, "Oh yeah," and then this is where the regime clamped down on the protests and massacred a bunch of student protesters, and here's where the guy with the tank was
more like that, like
iconic
whistling or
hero.
something, or making sound when the like flag is going up because you're supposed to be silent.
But I'm asking, what
like
if
just disrupting the event,
but I'm
not
asking,
like even politically.
But I'm asking if what if they did what I just said?
Huh?
What if they did what I just said?
What? Then yeah, you just if they just went in the square and said, "Oh, back in 1989 there was a clampdown on protests."
Well, not there was a clampdown, okay, because that's what the government not there was a clampdown. If they framed it in a way the government didn't like if they said that there was a massacre of student protesters and that this is where the famous tank man bravely stood up to the if they spoke like that, would that be? You think you'd be allowed to do that? What do you think happened there?
That would get you in trouble. That would probably get you in trouble.
Yeah, and that's that I could that I was able to talk about the Deir Yassin massacre in Israel and publish it. And
does Hasan think China has? Does Hasan think China has like free speech? He's openly said like he's criticized China's censorship. Like Hasan does not think China's perfect on free speech.
He said the cops in China weren't as bad as the ones in the United States were worse. How do you
he said cops. He said cops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but the cops are not worse in the United States compared to China. What are you talking about? In terms of being censorious, in terms of clamping down on thought crimes, in
regards to like police brutality against like I bet cops in China kill less per year than fucking per capita than.
That's because Americans are armed. That's because American citizens are armed. If that's even true, by the way, I don't even know if you've looked that up. No, what are you talking about? In terms of rights abuses, in terms of clamping down on people for things that wouldn't even be considered crimes in the United States? What are you talking? Yeah, what the fuck? What do people think happens in this country? What do you think people happens in a dictatorship, in a one-party dictatorship? They arbitrarily detain people.
I saw a cop in America. I saw a cop in America break a window and just punch like a black guy, just randomly because he was speeding.
Okay.
Like I've seen cops in America do way worse.
So is your impression of how bad a police force is in a particular country based on what you've seen on like how many videos you've seen of one or the other?
No, just knowing how racist they are, knowing like police brutality and shit like that.
Like is it? So have you ever looked up? So what do you know about Chinese? Because I don't look into China that much. What is your knowledge on Chinese like police brutality or violence?
I don't think they're that brutal, especially with the fact that the Chinese people, no matter how much you guys try to deny it, the Chinese people overwhelmingly approve of their government, and overwhelmingly approve of the government. So it's like
yeah, because the government has a lot more control over information than you and public access to information than you have in the United States or in European countries. Yeah, it's quite
Even-
difficult
even
to voice a coherent opposition when there's only one party. What are we talking about?
There's countries where they have full control of speech, yet the people still hate the government. Iran being an example of them. Afghanistan being an example of them. I don't know exact polls of Afghanistan, but I would assume Afghan citizens hate the government. The Chinese people don't hate the government. They're fine with their life. They're fine with how they're progressing with all the development. As you can see, as I can see from Hasan's stream, China seems like
As
a
you
very
can see from
clean.
Hasan's stream. Wait, do you think this is
an
a...
ISO speech team? And just like looking at the economy and how fast they've grown and how many people they move out of poverty. What was it, like 400 million people in 20 years? They've moved out of poverty.
Yeah, it's funny. I
Those are
recall
crazy
hearing.
stats.
I recall hearing a lot of people say the same thing about the United States in the 20th century. Yeah, but if you go from being an undeveloped country to being a developed country, yes, people come out of poverty. You think the rural workers in China are feeling fucking gassed up about economic progress in the country? Like, okay, wait, sorry, I don't know why we're skirting around that. Do you think this is a
Chinese police are not that bad? Literally no Hong Kong resident ever.
Do you think this is a not to mention Hong Kong? Do you think this is a fucking? Do you think this is a propaganda tour that he's doing?
No, I don't think he's paid by the Chinese government.
No, I'm asking you. Do you think it's a propaganda
if it
tour?
was a
Doesn't you have to be paid to do propaganda?
If it's a propaganda tour, then it would be base. Yes, because you need to counter the anti-Chinese propaganda that the American government puts out. For example, the Uyghur genocide. Nobody considers it a genocide. It's not a genocide. The Chinese government have sterilized 300 million Han Chinese women. Far more rate due to their family.
We've been over this already. Doing something because of a one-child policy is not the same as doing something because you're targeting an ethnic group that you consider need to be re-educated. It's just like fucking.
It's a cultural genocide. It's a cultural genocide. But anyway,
it's a cultural genocide. Okay.
Can you answer? The UN doesn't consider it genocide. Amnesty International doesn't consider it genocide. Human Rights.
You know, I don't consider these fucking organizations like authorities on fucking anything. So I don't know why you're saying.
Still, the only ones that consider a genocide are what? The Victims of Communism Memorial, fucking right-wing pro-Republican.
Wouldn't it be better to just talk about what's actually happening in the area? Like,
yeah, I can talk about the.
Like we're talking about police brutality, and you've got a country where they fucking lock people in re-education camps for fucking. Oh God!
That's ended, by the way. That's ended.
Oh, because it ended. That's okay. Yeah. So everything that's ended, we don't talk about anymore, right? We don't talk about
no, it's
like
not
the
okay
fucking. We don't talk about Manifest Destiny or like any of that either, do we? Shit.
It's not okay what they did. It was still wrong. It was still pretty oppressive. They shouldn't have done it.
Still heavily surveilled. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I hope Hasan goes to Xinjiang. I think he mentioned that he will go there, so I hope he goes there. We can see. Hopefully, he talks to the locals. Obviously, you'd probably have to pan the camera off them. So just.
I mean, I hope for his sake he just doesn't speak, because he will definitely put his foot in his mouth like a fucking retard and get in trouble.
No, you should go to the locals and ask them how they're living and stream it, so it can't be accused of being edited. Oh, and by the way, he met with somebody from the CCTV, which is their thing. He met with the English branch and did an interview with them, which is pretty sick. But yeah,
very sick.
Sorry,
I cannot fucking believe this piece of shit accused me of doing a propaganda tour when he's out doing this shit. This is so fucking retarded.
I don't think. I think he's gone back and forth though. I think he's gone back and forth.
Back and forth on what?
He's gone back and forth. He said you may have done it. I've heard him sometimes.
I don't fucking care, man. The fact that not even may is fucking retarded. If you look into anything that I did over there and you say may have been propaganda for which faction? Which faction do you think I may have done work for in Israel with that trip?
He would think Israel. Hasan would think Israel, not me. I don't think.
Okay, just the totality of Israel. What, the government, the people who oppose the government, the people in the West Bank who want to destroy the fucking country? Jesus fucking Christ! I don't know. Whatever. Topsy turvy. I mean, fuck me, man. Who's this person?
I just wanted to say that Chinese people can't really be considered capable. Well, I don't want to say that it sounds weird when I say capable, but it's kind of weird to say that Chinese people are like, compare them to like people in Iran or like some other authoritarian states. It's more akin to compare them to North Korea, because Chinese internet is basically cut off and the CCP completely controls the entire internet. So it's kind of hard to think about stuff that you cannot even see. And consume.
But do North Korean people support the government? I don't think the people in North
yeah,
Korea
they do.
I mean, if you poll them, they would obviously say yes,
more
wouldn't they?
North Korean people support on average, I would say North Korean people support the government because I don't know how else would they even think.
Even if they're not
like they don't even have the concept of anything outside North Korea. Like you would have to be like a highly positioned person in North Korea to even have the concept of
like North Korea.
Because North Koreans don't have access to the outside world. Like Chinese people have access only to the Chinese internet. Like, sure, there is a way to go outside
Chinese
of it.
people can leave the country.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you have to, as a Chinese person, I'm not sure they even consider like dual citizenship, even Chinese people. But even regardless,
they can leave.
If you're a Chinese person,
they go on vacation.
The rich people in China, of course, and rich people would everywhere love the government. I don't know. Like China is such a dumb example to even compare to like even the place like fucking Iran, because like Iran has access to normal internet as far as I know.
Oh no, there's VPN. Oh,
they can
like people can be
They support the government because they can go on vacation. That's crazy, man. You know who else goes on vacation?
I'm saying it's not comparable to compare China today like to North Korea. They're not comparable.
It is more comparable than to compare them to Iran, because people in Iran actually have sources of information that are outside of the government control.
Yeah, and I'm
That's
thankful.
not the
I'm
case
thankful
in
that
China.
made their own media. I'm thankful that they have Douyin and
you know who else?
They can't be
But they don't have just their own
Iranian.
media. They have own platforms. They don't have YouTube. Then they don't use Google. Well, maybe they use Google, the Chinese version.
That's a good thing. So what? So you're saying because the Chinese
I don't know
government
how you cannot, in your mind, understand the concept that if someone doesn't have access to information, that they cannot think about that information. It's like saying to right winger that trans people exist. It's incompatible with their mind because they never fucking use Google and search around what it even means. They just think that your fucking dick gets chopped off. Do you think that trans people exist and just
by the way,
I don't think Tutan's gonna take any of that. I was just gonna say
no.
Who else goes on vacation? Russians. And clearly they still support the government. And Russia is pretty repressive with its media. And they still have access to some outside sources, generally before the war. So people still try to get to the effort of actually doing that. However, pretty much every poll still indicates that Russians support the government. And that's why I'm kind of sick and tired of hearing not all Russians, but that's just me.
Well, no, not all Russians. It's the same with China, because every single Russian that has access to media supports the war because they're inherently going to be rich, because they're going to be from St. Petersburg, Moscow, or bigger cities. The people that are in the fucking bumfuck nowhere that get sent to the fucking Ukraine slaughterhouse, they are from fucking bumfuck nowhere in Siberia, where they get fucking minorities.
They're also getting promised massive amounts of money they'll never see in their life, and I'm tired of hearing, oh, yeah, I gotta go throw missiles at playgrounds to pay my utility bills. Like, it's retarded.
Yeah, so. But by the way, I was on Bilibili today, the Chinese YouTube, and they literally and there was a video of XUC like mocking Hasan and saying.
I also saw a video of.
Wait, can people not talk over each other and just let Tutan finish, please? Hang on, hey, okay. Don't talk over each other. Also, yeah, you guys, Vader and weaponizing, you've only got like a few minutes left because I got a new guest to come in. Okay.
I mean, I actually have to leave soon, so that's fine.
Okay, just let Tutan finish this thing and then you can respond.
By the way, people, even CCP, then they don't care about what happens to the outside world. They don't even really care that people in the outside of China criticize China, because the only thing that people in China see.
Have a fucking psychotic. I thought I said Tutan was going to finish his thing.
Oh, sorry.
Hey.
But by the way, there was literally a video today, XUC mocking Hasan, saying that mocking Hasan's claim of when he was responding to downplaying the incident. There was literally a video of that on Bilibili, the Chinese YouTube, and has 400,000 views. So
yeah, I also saw.
They do allow some criticism. Like literally, I can send you the link. This is Bilibili, the Chinese YouTube.
I also saw an image of like some low-level football club fans waving around the flag of Manchukuo. Does that mean that shit's allowed? Probably not.
If it's allowed, why hasn't it been taken down? It has 400,000 views. It was uploaded 19 hours ago.
You know what I'm talking about.
And
These people were flying the flag of a Japanese puppet state. Just because it's on there doesn't mean it's allowed. I mean,
Chinese people.
Okay, you can say that. You can say that, but like
your argument is that China's not repressive because Jannies don't do their job.
Well, no, it's that they allow XQC for some reason. I don't know, like, if you compare XQC to fucking... Like, I don't know why would you compare XQC making fun of Hasan, which has, like, nothing to, like, even connected to fucking China in their mind. Like, if XQC was criticizing Xi Jinping and his fucking policies, they would take it down. But he's fucking making fun of Hasan. Why would China care? They don't fucking care about communism in the entire world.
So the people in the comments are aware of how the outside world views them. They're aware like how the outside world thinks China's like a oppressive shithole. They're aware. This is obviously like not
Sean,
statistical.
can I ask you a question? Can I ask a question? Do you care about freedom of speech, association, access to information? Just say yes or no. Okay, then why doesn't it bother you that people mocking Mao in China would probably get arrested? Why does it bother you that why doesn't what happened to Hasan bother you? Why doesn't it bother you that Hasan makes excuses for what happened to him? Because that's not free speech.
Yeah, okay. First of all, I have criticized China's free speech laws. So, like, they don't have to do it like Cuba, because like I would understand like why Cuba does it, because like, you know, they're like small, but China itself is like a global superpower now. But first of all, Hasan did not get arrested. He was like just speaking
it doesn't matter. Like he
got put into a special detainment operation. That means it's not arrested, guys.
Yeah, the problem is that he got questioned because he was filming, and it's also a problem that the cops in Tiananmen Square worry about shit like people mocking Mao, or the fact that they suppress their history about what really happened there.
What happens if they worried about like somebody would disrupt the ceremony, the like flag raising? Because you're supposed to be silent during this flag raising. What happens if they were like a white dipshit, like just came like a Drew Pavlou came in there and started screaming?
Well, because usually what police officers do if they're trying to avoid that stuff is they might just have a conversation with someone. But like that's the thing, is that they were trying to look through his phone, weren't they? And we know this is a big deal, because when this happens in the United States, when people get stopped at fucking customs and people try to look through their phones, or they ask them questions about the president, that becomes a news story. It's a really big thing for them to be bothering you because of your opinions and the contents of your phone.
Yeah.
Also,
one
really quick question: do you think the Chinese police is more likely to racially profile someone they perceive to be white or Muslim?
Oh boy,
have you
seen the bus video, Teuton?
Oh my god, why can't people just let a linear conversation fucking happen?
Answer the question, Teuton.
Probably Muslim.
Okay. Do you want to talk to it? There's a Chinese national in the waiting room who wants to talk. Can we just like calm this conversation down?
Or is he outside?
He's been outside, but he's Chinese. Yeah. Okay.
I actually got to get ready, so I guess
I'll be back in a second. One second.
Oh my god. I'll just wrap up my thoughts, because I actually have to go in a minute, and I just wanted to rant about Teuton about this. There's this fucking a majority of China makes the fucking 1840s South look like a fucking civil rights paradise in regards to like Africans. Everyone knows about the fucking dishwasher video, the dishwasher commercial, but there was also the like, it's pretty well documented that China is really fucking racist. I believe you remember Epic Fail, right?
They're not very nice to their migrant workers. Yeah. They come from like Africa and whatnot.
Yeah, and they also tend to like dump poisonous chemicals in those African countries to begin with, like that Zambian. I think there was one instance of that in Zambia, because Zambia has a lot of copper, so they've been trying to get factory like mines built there, and there was like a leak of some runoff or some shit, and it caused like a toxic contamination. And it's now Zambia, I think it's kind of lucky to not be a shitty dictatorship. It's actually a democracy, and it's also fairly well developed for African standards, so they could probably do something to get China out of there. Meanwhile, in like I don't know DRC or like pretty much every country like north of Botswana. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Unfortunately. So yeah, I think China's track record on racial justice is not even in the toilet. It's in the fucking mantle of the earth. That's how low it is. Anyway, this is like my main point. That's what I wanted to get across. I'm gonna head out. I actually have to go to class now. Have a fun stream. 210. Talk to me on Ukraine. Thank you.
Okay.
Castle,
Is
hello?
Castle,
Can you hear me?
is it yeah, it's low, but yeah,
I can't hear
How
shit.
about now? Is that better?
it's very low.
More go higher. If it goes high as you can.
Go higher. Okay, how about now?
Whoa, now down.
Down?
That's fine.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your story?
So, I don't know if any of you have actually been to Beijing, other than, I guess, Hasan now, but there's a reason why you have to be very careful in the capital, and it's not because the police is there, it's because you're typically not going to see the police there. And that's because they're all going to be in plain clothes, typically. So even the people around you, typically, you cannot trust them to not be police, especially in Tiananmen Square. So even if you see the people that are like actually like in police clothes with the fire extinguishers, you're going to have like another 20 or 30 that are non-police, that are non-clothed police or uniform police. And like in the clip, you can see in the background that tower. That's a surveillance tower with like cameras and shit. So the police don't even necessarily need to be there. They're constantly monitoring everybody in that square because there's just too much shit that's gone on in that square that they need to shut down immediately. And
Isn't
like
there also
literally,
just-
there's facial recognition and stuff. So even if your social credit score is too low, you won't even be able to go into Beijing because
Isn't there also CCTV cameras like all over Beijing, like everywhere? Is that also not a thing too?
yes, especially in Beijing, it's like it's everywhere. Like you cannot piss in the street without somebody being able to see you because that's the cultural and governmental center of the entire country. And it's their seat of power, so they're not going to have anybody do any fuck shit there.
And also, from what I understand, the issue with China suppressing speech is not really that they suppress speech like with force, but with incentives. Because from what I understand, like you said before, China has like big like control over transportation, from like giving licenses that you need to request from the government to even public transportation. That if you go against China, they will just keep going not letting you even travel around China. They will not allow you access to transportation or anything of the sort. So
to be honest, the more powerful censorship isn't even the incentivized censorship or the regulations. It's just a cultural aspect of how they view their society, and any nail that's stuck out is typically nailed in by just social pressure. So you're not gonna. A lot of this censorship isn't even from necessarily the government. Like the government does a pretty good job of removing and blocking keywords, but honestly, the Chinese citizens themselves, they do a pretty good job of policing themselves because they have how do I say it?
Well, they don't want to be friends with someone that's against the CCP.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's that they believe in the cultural good of the government provides. So even if you can like talk about the abuses and stuff outside, most people will just chalk it up to, oh, this is necessary for our society. which it's kind of starting to crumble, especially with young people in China, because of typically China has been heavily reliant on the fact that as long as there's economic development, the Chinese people are kind of just like, okay, that's fine. Whatever you do, it's for our good. But because of the economic instability currently in China, it's gotten much worse. And like you'll see that the young people have a very different view of China compared to the older guard and the people who got rich off of the Deng Xiaoping's
industrialization.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a lot of relation, from what I understand, if why China stopped reporting the youth unemployment, because like it's pretty bad apparently.
And the racial profiling, it's difficult to really talk about that because it's not that they don't like because how ethnically Han everyone is towards the East Coast, like everyone just assumes like there's the ethnic or the racial issue. But if you go further west, there's just it's all fucking tiny farms and villages and shit, and they have all their different minorities as well. And then there's Xinjiang, and then there's plenty of Muslim minorities that Chinese people do accept and know, or they kind of just allow them to exist. But they're mostly the peaceful ones, but the Xinjiang ones is the ones that they dislike. And they've pretty much fixed that issue by, the cultural repression and the re-education.
What the fuck is this tweet from the Chinese embassy from 2021? Apparently it was removed by Twitter, but it's been put back now. But yeah, it's just like, it's them saying, study shows the population change in northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region involves the overall improvement in population quality. An increasing number of youths choose to spend more time and energy on personal development. Oh, the one that got deleted was it was this
That's
one.
probably what they're talking about is more like the social cohesion part and not the other part where they've managed to completely culturally destroy the Xinjiang population.
Well, that's the part that Twitter got rid of. Apparently, this is the bit that Twitter got rid of. Study shows that in the process of eradicating extremism, the minds of Uyghur women in Xinjiang were emancipated and gender equality and reproductive health were promoted, making them no longer baby-making machines. They are more confident and independent. From ChinaDaily.com.cn.
That is the piece of propaganda that China puts out, and I think there is truth to that, but at the same time, it's like, at what cost? Which is you're no longer allowed. Like they say, oh, you can worship Islam or whatever, but you have to worship it peacefully and under the Chinese rule.
The China Daily article isn't accessible anymore, so I've only got quotes from it.
Yeah. But I mean,
Uyghurs' personal decisions on whether to use those measures, which include tubal ligation and the insertion of intrauterine devices, are fully respected. In recent years, young people in Xinjiang have discarded backward and outdated thoughts. Okay, we already read that bit. Wow.
But I mean, it's
on the nose.
China. It's just if you've ever been there and if you visited, like it's real nice on the East Coast. Like everything's modernized and everything, but that's because that's their crown jewels that they're showing off for the West. But if you go anywhere further west, you're gonna see dilapidated villages. You're gonna see fucking poor ass people everywhere, fucking farmers and shit, and like broken roads and everything. Like the infrastructure there is god awful.
I mean, that's just one of the things that everyone recognizes for every single capitalist country on earth. But for some reason, the Soviet Union and China, they just they get a pass. While Moscow looks nice or Beijing looks nice. Yeah. Silly.
Well, so even in America, I've driven across America, and at the very least, when I drive across like from New York's East Coast all the way down to like Washington D.C. I don't really see, even in the rural areas, I know the population density is like really high, so it's still going to be a lot of infrastructure, but even then I don't see that's a long ass drive. And then in Texas, like even across rural areas, the roads are maintained, so it's like sure, there are some potholes here or there on the side roads, but the highways are highly maintained. But in China, once you start going further west, it's just like everything breaks down because there's a lot of corruption in the the western areas of the rural areas because like the Chinese government is interested in trying to uplift those people, but at the same time, they still need them to grow food and shit, so they can't have them be too educated. So, and then at the same time, they kind of they didn't follow the one-child policy, and it's not really enforced over there. So, it's like, it's very weird. But, I mean,
No, go on.
I think Hasan is an idiot for even just pulling out his phone with a meme of himself on Mao's head. That's like fucking retarded. Like, why would you do that?
Well, wasn't it to reassure people that he's actually like a simp, not a critic?
I mean, that's being disrespectful to Mao. So I don't understand why he would do that. Like,
yeah, especially since they banned Winnie the Pooh just for the association with Xi Jinping, not even
Well, that was
his face on it.
That was a whole thing with fucking. It wasn't not the case. It was either a Soviet thing or maybe it's a Chinese thing as well. But yeah, where there is such a thing as praising the government in a way that's too on the nose. That actually annoys them as well. I think Stalin that happened with him. Yeah.
To be honest, like China's economic development is good and their manufacturing is really good, but the problem is that they heavily rely on just intellectual property theft for most of their to basically because you'll see like an example of this, there was like a Honeywell lamp that was like $800, and then from the same factory they'd build like a $400 lamp with their own branding and stuff, and then they call it their lamp.
Well, I can speak to that personally. It's usually just that the stuff is manufactured there and they just sell it for the manufacturing cost for the Chinese market. For like, I usually buy stuff
they put it
from...
on Amazon too.
Well, that happens, but that's usually like, from what I understand, Chinese people don't really sell on Amazon themselves. That usually third parties like dropshippers in the US and in the Europe.
No, they actually have warehouse people here that they ship to, and then they
but I buy from like Taobao and stuff, apps like that, and you can just buy like 100% one-to-one, like at cost, basically manufacturing cost, like stuff that's like licensed or IP.
Anyway, I don't suggest Hasan especially try to live stream in fucking China, because I show speed. There's an ignorance there, and he isn't Islamic, so there's also like Chinese people actually do have an appreciation for black people. It's just not in the same way that Americans do from a reparations standpoint. They more view them as fucking basketball players. That's it. Because basketball is hugely popular in China, and that's why it makes a shit ton of money in China.
Hasan's not really Muslim though, so
yeah.
Except when he wants to be.
Hasan, if he doesn't even look Muslim, so I don't think he like anybody.
Also, on Billy, they love Hasan. On Billy, they love Hasan. They're like this
if that's true,
this
but okay.
anchor, this American anchor knows about China, and like
wait,
there's
is
a lot of praise
that
for him.
Is that the Chinese streaming website where they
no, YouTube, like the Chinese YouTube.
Oh yeah, was it is it a streaming site? There was a Chinese streaming site where people were posting things like about Kaya in the comments. Loner, did you see that?
Yeah,
on
I
your
saw
page?
that,
Yeah. That's you can stream on it as well. Yeah, those 2 comments. Yeah, electric.
Yeah, the electric dog thing. Yeah.
The Muslim thing only comes up because he's trying to make it seem like he was profiled for being white, which is fucking mental. But
he probably was. He
No,
probably
he
was
wasn't.
because white people aren't at that ceremony. It was literally, I think Hasan and his crew were the only white people.
I think you're being retarded. There's plenty of white people that go to China just to visit.
No, I'm saying at the flag raising.
Even at the
thing,
flag
that's how
thing, it's a thing that Chinese
They
people.
probably stabbed him just because of the meme.
It's a tourist thing, and it shows the nationalism. It's a propaganda thing. They're not going to be like, "Fuck you, don't go
there was
there,"
no white
because you're
people. I
white.
couldn't see any.
That's the most retarded take I've ever heard about that.
Foreigners would come and wait wait in line for 2 hours to see the Chinese flag.
Foreigners wait 2 hours just to walk onto a fucking wall in China. Okay, so I don't.
Yeah, that's really bad.
I don't think that's really a valid point you're making.
You can't base
And-
it off of
I don't
just
know.
what you saw on his stream, Teuton. That's not a good. That's just like
it's
saying,
not like you're
I
gonna
saw
see the white
video.
people on his stream because they're gonna be further
Also,
away.
currently the weather in China is cold as fuck, so I don't think there's gonna be as many people there.
Yeah.
But in general, they don't discourage white people from going to fucking Tiananmen Square. They do discourage you if you start yelling retarded shit and putting Mao memes on your phone, and they are watching you everywhere.
Or if you hold up
Whether
a
you-
sign that says what really happened
And
there.
it's not even the police that likely saw him. It's likely that they probably, if he's using data in China, it's likely they even saw the data in China, and then they're like, oh, it's from this phone, and it's this guy right here. That's likely what they're doing to locate him, because they're they track data.
That photo wasn't on his phone. It was a tweet from somebody else. But
He saved the photo, or is it online that he?
he didn't say. For me, he didn't save it. It looked like he was on the tweet. You could see he had 203 likes.
Yeah, but he had it up on his phone, so.
Yeah.
But even then, in the video, it sounds like he's like really close to the police because like it's almost instant the moment they show the picture that they just come up to them and ask. So
Yeah.
he probably saw it from afar, and it's not like it's not an iconic
Look,
photo.
people in Tiananmen Square are extremely jumpy because they.
Makes sense.
It's the center of it's part of their cultural center. So it's like if anybody fucks with that, they're gonna act fast.
Yeah, and from what I understand, I think like Xi Jinping, currently right now the party is more on the Mao was kind of like good for China side, because I think the previous administrations were more lenient on the Mao like criticism, but Xi Jinping is of the Mao was kind of like based kind of thought, from what I understand.
Well, she is less interested in the Mao talk because honestly, most Chinese people have long had the historical knowledge that Mao wasn't that great of a leader after the whole fucking bird killings
Leap
and
forward.
the leap forward, and there are people who are happy with it because they got the education that they typically don't got, but then there's like a huge brain drain of people who have experienced that left and just fucking ran. And
Is it comparable to compare Mao is Mao to Chinese people the same as like Atatürk to Turkish people? Would that be comparable?
Ataturk
with
is,
like how they
but-
view?
I probably not, but because
Mao
I think
Mao is like George Washington if George Washington killed a shit tons of their own people on accident. That's how they view Mao.
At least Mao didn't own slaves, but yeah.
I mean, I don't think the Chinese people cared about the slave owning. I think they cared about the starvation and the forced labor camps that they had to participate in.
From what I've read and what I've heard, Chinese people are still most are still appreciated. They like acknowledge his mistakes, but most still appreciate him for pulling China out of the century of humiliation and turning.
No, they don't. No. Fuck no. Okay,
yes, and
they appreciate that they appreciate Mao for finding the unified China under this, like, the Communist Party, but they are very, very harsh on his ideas of socialism and, like, his policies that really fucked with a whole bunch of people.
Also, who uses that as a fucking reference point for any other country? Oh yeah, well the Israeli Jews really appreciate Herzl for, you know, helping them have a country, or the Brits really appreciate Winston Churchill, or I don't even know, like Henry VIII, or the fucking Americans really appreciate Thomas Jefferson. Okay, and yeah, national stories are kind of delusional sometimes.
Also, most people who remembered what Mao was like and more glorified him are all basically dead at this point. You have a younger generation that has been removed from Mao and who's had the history lessons, who've, like, lived outside. A lot of Chinese people go outside to other countries, and there's this culture shock where they realize that, oh, not everything that they saw, well, most of what they understood in their history books is accurate, but there are missing pieces. And then, like, I know Chinese journalists are allowed media about Tiananmen Square, but they're not allowed to talk about it openly.
I found the poll. It says 85% of Chinese citizens say Mao's merits outweigh his faults. This is done by, I need to see if this poll it's done by the Global Times, which I think is affiliated with China, but that's a poll. 85% say his merits outweigh his faults.
I don't even understand what the poll is asking, but okay. Because Mao in reality had very little merits as a leader. He was very good at being a guerrilla fighter, and he was very good at avoiding fights where he can't lose, or where he can lose, and he's very good at telling people what they want to hear. But he was a god-awful leader.
Well, he made some mistakes.
I mean, I would say more than he made some mistakes, but
and then like they especially resent him because at the end of his life, like, basically his wife was taken over, and then they fucking exiled her, and after he died. So you can tell that the China, and like, Mao is more of a symbol than like than an actual person to China. Like,
also, how much
Xi
merit do
Jinping is just taking the aesthetics of Mao and using it for himself, but he really has his own policies compared to Mao.
How much merit do we really want to put into polling data that comes from China anyway, since it is, like, I'm always unsure about the extent to which anything like that can be relied on when you're talking about an authoritarian regime or whatever, or at least especially one like China, where information is so tightly controlled and people don't necessarily have access to, like, everything, like their internet is pretty censored and whatnot. I don't know, like, how much. I'm curious about that, Kessel.
So people are aware of the stuff that's censored in the first place. They're not stupid. They know what's censored and they know what to shut up about. But they know it's happening and they'll talk about it behind closed doors. So you'll occasionally see that resentment bubble up, like during the COVID continued lockdowns that they were planning, and then everyone just lost their minds. And then there's a precarious amount of things that they're allowed to do, and if they step over, the CCP will very quickly roll back stuff that they realize, oh, a lot of people are going to be pissed about. Like the whole gacha shit, the gacha regulations that they rolled back. Yeah, that was
gacha games.
Yeah, on gacha games where they were gonna require a whole bunch of different policies to, and it fucking wiped out. I don't know, what was it, $9 billion in one day.
Yes.
Yeah, they rolled that back very quickly. The guy who wrote the article is now like fucking disappeared, and yeah, you still have gachas in China.
Yeah, I
Alright,
just
I'm gonna
like,
dip out, so see you.
okay, bye. Yeah,
Bye.
Teuton, I don't know. I just feel like I don't. Hasan clearly wants to run defense for China because of his whole like America is the worst country ever shit.
No. I think he wants to show like because Americans do have a false view of China. Like as for example, we could put it into we could name a prominent example.
What's the
Ethan
false
Klein.
view
Ethan Klein,
that Americans have about China? I'm curious, actually.
people think in Xinjiang they're harvesting organs. There are fucking mass death camps. It's Holocaust style like fucking.
Oh,
genocide.
they're
That's
not
what people think.
harvesting necessarily from the Xinjiang. They're actually, a lot of it is the Falun Gong. But I mean, that's the issue with China's organ harvesting is that we have no idea where the organs are coming from, typically. And there's no way to figure out where's this
But they're not
excess
killing
amount of
people first
organs
to
that
get
they
the
have,
organs,
because
right?
it's very easy to get organ transplants in China compared to other places. So there's a question of where the fuck did all these organs come from that they can just transplant? And there's
I'll
no
ask you,
definitive
have you
answer.
lived in China?
Yes, I've lived in China and I've visited several times. I lived there when I was 4, and then I visited frequently for over the 30 years.
Do you speak Chinese or what is it,
I do
Mandarin?
speak Chinese.
Okay.
I'm not literate in Chinese, but I understand Chinese enough, and I know I've been to several cities, including smaller villages and stuff.
And is this true? Because there was Western polling from like Harvard. I just want to ask, since you're a Chinese person, so you would know. Is it true that Chinese people broadly have a positive view of the Chinese Communist Party and president and the leader? How do you say his name? I
Xi
want to know how to say it
Jinping.
properly. Xi Jinping, yes, Xi Jinping. So is that true? Because that was from like a Western university that said that it was like 90 something percent. It was crazy stat. Said that they had a positive view of
Well,
the party.
Chinese people will never, because there's a sense of nationalism, they're never going to show they're never going to show to a Western audience that they have any disapproval, because they want to feel they have a sense of pride in their nation. So it's the equivalent of if you go to if a Russian goes to an American and says, "Hey, do you hate your country, or do you love your country?" Comparatively, you're going to love it more than Russian.
Yeah, or if you ask a
country.
Russian, they're probably going to defend like their country.
Also, isn't my understanding isn't it the case that China actually admitted to doing organ harvesting on prisoners who had been executed? They just said they would stop, like in 2014.
I'm not familiar with that, but I do know that
this is the report from it. This is
they
promised
the
to
main
stop
problem
after
is there's a
by
lot of
2015.
people in China, and then there's a lot of organs that are just unaccounted for, and for the fact that there's just so much organs that they can just.
Okay, so without consent after or from executed prisoners, not after they die of natural causes. But yeah, that's a bad policy. But they're not.
We
there's
don't know
no
if they've
evidence
actually
that,
stopped
like,
this because they're still. I'm looking at Guardian stuff here from 2017 saying they might still be doing it, but obviously it's hard to tell a lot of this stuff because there's not really that much transparency. It's the same with the incarceration rates. I noticed that something that Hasan never mentions is that just because the Uyghur re-education camps have closed, that doesn't mean that incarceration rates have gone any lower, and actually prison buildings seem to be expanding. So it's But you're framing it like he's just saying, well, because there's a lot of propaganda in the West and we need to correct things, and what, to like tone it back down to reasonable criticism? That's not what he does, though. He whitewashes. Like after the fucking Hong Kong protests, when he was talking to Ethan, he had to get Ethan to properly push him to say that there were still civil liberties that had been massively curtailed, because he was just kind of being like, oh yeah, what? That's all over. They said they were going to murder them all, but it didn't happen. If if Ethan hadn't bumped in there in that conversation, you wouldn't have known anything that was going on in Hong Kong. Same with even the re-education camps. Like, he constantly downplays. You would never accept anyone else doing this. You'd never accept anyone else going to fucking, like, you'd never, I'll say it about Israel again, you wouldn't accept anyone going there and, oh, I'm just there because, you know, people exaggerate a lot of the claims. I'm just here to temper the rhetoric. You wouldn't accept that at all.
Wait, no. American media does not do propaganda on behalf of propaganda against Israel, and it's not comparable what China and Israel do.
Well, a lot of American popular media does, doesn't it? Like, what the fuck?
It's not.
You can say you're there to address the international community and like the UN reports or whatever. Like,
I can literally name 3 minor like pundits that will actively like breaking points. Those people will fucking are anti-West as fuck and will glaze the fuck out of China. There's plenty of Chinese propaganda that's here as well. And then, like, a lot of mainstream news sources will eat up Chinese propaganda as well on accident.
Also, I don't understand this, because, like, he literally calls himself someone. He was talking about. Is he just exaggerating when he talks about how he loves, like, China and the CCP and shit? I don't know.
I doubt it.
It's not about tempering the propaganda. It's about doing reverse propaganda. It's about doing pro-China propaganda.
Also, I guarantee you there's somebody following Hasan right now, like outside his hotel, and there's someone gonna be stalking Hasan.
Drew Pavlo tried to claim that, but then Hasan's producer came out and tweeted that, like, there was a thing where, like, Hasan's producer, like, said during China that, like, one person came into their room without permission, and then he's literally in the clip, but, like, I think 5 seconds before, he was talking about when he was at the DNZ in Chicago. So maybe.
I mean, you
no,
think that
I'm saying you're not gonna know that they're following you until they come up to you and say that you're doing something wrong.
Also, it's very likely that, like, there's like somebody who is watching the stream
because of the
Well, we can't. We
any
can
Western
we can't
streamer
know
that's
for
in
sure.
China is going to be followed. Period.
Like, yeah, like, sure.
I just want to do. We'll see. Well, like, how long is he there for? A few days, right? Or a week, or what?
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. I'd just be very curious to see what he publicly says about Xinjiang and the Uyghurs, his fellow Muslims, after all, you know, because he's a big Muslim.
Yeah, and his uncle, his name, surname
And
is.
if he's gonna go to Xinjiang at all, because I'd be curious if
You should check out
that.
the destroyed, like, the leftovers of the mosques and the fucking destroyed. Some of the abandoned camps are still there, like the buildings, or the prisons. Like, there are still journalists who go to Xinjiang and get followed around and told they can't film there because they're still, like, the idea that this is all over is so fucking mental. Like, it's obviously not completely over. There's still
it is
expanded
over
prison buildings
in the sense. I mean, it is over in the sense that, like, they're done with the re-education and now they're going to move forward with their unified society there. So it's, to them, they've done their job already.
Yeah, they were successful in culturally genociding these people.
Well, I mean, re-educating, right? Not the
Yes.
genocide. We didn't kill all the kids. We just taught them to be good boys and girls.
Yes. We forcefully integrated them into our culture by telling them that they couldn't have their culture.
Well, okay, they can have their culture, but they can't have the violent aspects of their culture, which is the whole issue that China
I know
had
that's
with
what
them.
they're claiming, but yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what.
Even the Chinese people kind of have some tolerance for religion. They do that for Tibetans. They have tolerance, like they tolerate the religion, but you better not step outside of, because there's different sects of Muslims that are more peaceful and that China has no issues with. There's Christian churches in Shanghai and other places, but they're not like
It's
They're not-
basically just they saw, like, I understand there were some problems with terrorism in Xinjiang, and from what I have read, it appears that China, I guess they looked at the war on terror model that America was doing, and they were like, okay, let's do that, but we're gonna like turn that up to 11 because obviously they didn't.
No. They didn't follow that model. That model doesn't work. This is a completely different.
Oh, I'm
model.
sorry, the Patriot Act stuff. I thought that they were going to do something like that.
Well, I
or that
mean,
they got
the
some
surveillance
inspiration
state
from
is
America.
the surveillance state is one thing, but the re-education of the young is a completely different thing.
Yeah, I thought
So-
that they got some
I believe
inspiration from the U.S. in
I
terms of what
believe
they were doing. I
G
could have
said
swore
it.
that I
He
read
said it
that.
as well.
Well, I mean, they already
Yeah, no,
had
you're
a
right.
huge surveillance state already. It's just that they now implement it harder in Xinjiang, and then
Wait, is this in the sense that they do this thing where they'll draw false equivalency between what they do and what America does? Like, is that what you mean by that? Like, they get called out on it and they're like, "Oh no, America does the same thing."
No, they don't
I
care.
mean,
They don't
these
give a
were in the
shit.
leaked
America does
documents.
worse.
Do you remember
The Patriot Act is not worse than Chinese fucking surveillance state.
No,
What
no,
the
no,
fuck
no,
are you?
not
It's
Patriot Act.
absolutely
No,
not worse.
No, not Patriot Act. I'm not talking about Patriot Act. I'm saying to Iraq. But whatever.
Oh.
Iraq, they
After
didn't
9/11.
try to re-educate the
Yeah, but
children into being good little Americans. From
Okay,
what I
Tuton, what do you
remember.
think's
At
going
least
to
it didn't
happen
go in-
if China manages to take over Taiwan? Actually, we already have an example of this. They're doing it in fucking
Well,
Hong Kong.
Okay,
what they
first
do
of all,
there.
if they try to take over Taiwan, there's going to be a lot of explosives in the
Oh
factories.
yeah, I know, but I'm saying,
They're
like, what if they
ready to blow
succeeded?
As soon as they're anybody.
I'm
like,
saying,
all
what if they
those-
succeeded in taking over? Then, like, what do you think they would do to the population? And like the extent, like the re-education shit would be crazy. Because weren't they doing that? Like, didn't they kind of do that already in Hong Kong? Because Hong Kong was, like, I think more
Did they do
free, weren't they?
re-education?
Okay,
Or did they just do
they didn't
censorship?
implement a re-education camp in Hong Kong. It was just they threw all the dissidents away
In
and
jail.
left whatever's left of the Hong Kong population to kind of figure out what they should and shouldn't do.
Yeah, they like cracked down on them and stuff, or like they
Correct.
changed the rules and.
It was
yeah.
the National Security Law, is what it was called, the NSL, where they basically
Yeah.
just like gave them sweeping rights to go and clamp down on people and jail them arbitrarily and detain them. And there's been reports of torture. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I think that's worse than what America did in Iraq. Okay.
Can
anyway,
I
go
just
ahead, Nina.
America, what? America in Iraq. by
Teuton,
killing
shut up. If you feel like watching a 55-minute video that explains like the war games, like the simulations that that the CSIS and stuff has done about the invasion of Taiwan, I think would be there's a pretty good video that I got linked today actually by Epic Fail.
I mean, most of that's going to be, hey,
it's-
America's not going to do anything.
No, there's
now
like
we'll invade.
no, there's like I'm gonna link it. Do you want it too, Kalinda?
I do
sure.
remember that there was a leak
Okay.
of the invasion plans for Taiwan, but they're old and they could just be counterintelligence stuff. So
I mean, that's neither here nor there. This is like about the war games that the US has done with regards to.
Oh, the war games. Sorry, I thought you were
the-
talking about the war plans to invade
No,
Taiwan.
the war games.
Is it recent? Are these war games recent?
Yeah, I think they were done like late last year or early this year. I don't quite.
Okay, when I say, I
know,
just
but
was
they're not-
wondering, because one of my big worries is that if Taiwan gets invaded, the Trump administration isn't going to do anything.
No, they will
no,
do
they
something.
act
They would
like-
need to. They would need to.
And Trump fucking
because
in 2016, Trump was really
it's-
anti-China. He spoke about China a
that's-
lot, but
yeah.
he doesn't really mention them that much these days, does he?
What the tariffs are literally about fucking.
Well, the
dealing
tariffs
with
are
because-
China. Like,
Yeah, I know,
don't-
but there's a difference between like talking real big. Like what I
Yeah.
mean is will he do things
mean,
that equal like
listen,
know
I
boots
don't
on the
give a
ground
fuck.
or
I don't give a fuck what any politician says. I don't trust or believe anything any politician says in the news or like in a press conference or something like that. Everything any politician says in public, I don't give a fuck what they say or like posture, what they say. I don't give a fuck. I just read what the experts say that are actually analyzing what's happening on the ground and analyze the capabilities, the satellite imagery of the capabilities of China and shit like that, and the satellite imagery that's happening like in the South China Sea, and what's happening with regards to all the other island nations around it, because we recently had a statement from the new Prime Minister of Japan. This is like the first time a Prime Minister of Japan has said that they say that an invasion of Taiwan is a national security risk for Japan. Like, they phrase it out that like openly. And that's like when something like that happens, when like, they actually openly say that like China is actually gonna like hurt our nation, because if that happens, there's a higher chance that, for example, Japan might actually get involved in the war. But regardless, these war games have nothing to do with like what politician says when and where, and this is about like what will happen, what are the consequences for China, for Taiwan, for the US, for whoever's involved in that area. What will probably happen according to the war games, just a TLDR, I'm gonna spoiler it for everybody. If you don't want the spoiler, mute me or pause the stream or mute the stream. Basically, China is not gonna win. They cannot occupy that land permanently. They're gonna invade it partially, but they can't occupy the land permanently. Taiwan will probably be economically devastated. China will be economically devastated, and the US will be economically devastated from this war. So all in all, nobody really wins, but China really fucking loses.
Oh, breaking news, guys! Breaking news.
Anyways.
You know how the Democrats released a bunch of documents about Epstein and Trump's connection with emails? Well, Republicans have counter-released thousands of files related to the Epstein case. Just now, they released a titanic trove of 23,000 pages of documents from the estate of the disgraced financier Epstein after months of delays. Damn, what's even in them? Well, we don't even know what's in them. More files. What a counter. Anyway. Continue.
She just released everything. Jesus.
My thinking is just Epstein he's known too many people or been close to too many people that it's very weird for a lot of people. I don't really think that necessarily everyone like who has talked to him or like communicated with him actually knew about a lot of the stuff. But I will see. I don't know.
But what do the Republicans, have they said what's in these 20,000 new documents? They're saying that they did it to disorient because there's so many documents, but maybe Clinton's mentioned in like 5 of them, but I don't know. Who knows? It's quite good. It just keeps dragging out though.
It was
that was all I wanted to say, so you guys can continue losing your minds.
Okay, I've got that link.
Anyway,
does anyone have anything big, or am I gonna jump on?
No, not really big.
I don't understand Two Ton's fascination with China, actually, other than that it's anti-West.
That's it. It's West.
I just think how bad China is exaggerated, and
yeah, because you think America's worse, right?
What America does around the world compared to China, yes, right. China is much better.
I think that you have a very limited scope of what China actually does around the world. This idea that China doesn't do anything.
They don't invade they don't go thousands of kilometers away from their mainland and invade countries like America did to Iraq. They don't fund multiple genocides in the Middle East. They don't fund they're not the ones that primarily funded Saudi Arabia, that blockaded Yemen, that causes starvation, famine, which primarily caused famine, which killed 100,000 children.
Ukraine or Russia in Ukraine, are they not? They're giving
not
Russia
not directly,
money.
not directly.
I know they are helping Iran too.
Not directly.
Yeah, they're friends with
helping
Iran as well.
Helping
And
Iran
they are
is not
funding
terrible.
Russia.
Someone had sent me a fucking DGG link earlier because something was going on in Kick or whatever, but I just left it, and then something, I think something came on there. Oh well.
I mean, Yemen.
Are you fucking serious?
Huh? Iran is not starving Yemen. Well, first of all, Yemen's starvation is finished. Yeah, the famine.
Yes, the Yemen starvation is the
Yemen.
Yemenis' fault, not anybody else's.
No, it's mainly the Saudis' fault for blocking.
Well, no,
land.
but I mean, the Houthis don't help, buddy.
I know the Houthis don't help, but it was primarily on the Saudis. The Saudis also attacked food sources, like literally
Hold on, Loner,
purpose.
did the UN not stop sending stuff into Yemen because the Houthis kept stealing it?
nice
And
That was after
kidnapping
the
people.
famine. That was
Because they were
after the
kidnapping
famine was
people.
declared. That was
I
after
would
the famine was already declared, and already after the famine was already at its peak.
Whoever
That's
declared
not
it, no one,
because
no,
of the
the
famine.
IPC never declared a
Hold on,
famine
Tuta,
in Yemen. You're just making shit up. Like, what are you talking about?
Are you a strong believer in Islam?
Why? How did they not declare a famine in
he's
Yemen
not.
when 400,000
He's not?
people
Oh, okay.
starved to
Because the
death?
threshold for declaring famine is really high, unless you're talking about Gaza. That's what they do. Yeah,
What
they
the
found
fuck?
one
Well,
region
anyway,
where there was
anyways,
like
famine or
1.4
not.
deaths per 10,000 per day, but that wasn't enough. Yeah.
Famine or not, still, 100,000 children starved to death. And the main cause of that was the Saudi blockade. Like, this is not disputed.
Is somehow
It was Saudi
America's fault?
blockade.
Yeah, but I know we all know, because we've gone over this conversation 8 billion times now. Is like you keep on saying the main cause as if that exempts the next cause, which is the Houthis stealing aid and kidnapping workers, which is why the UN didn't want to
I know.
distribute aid to alleviate the blockade.
Yeah, but that announcement came after the famine started. That's all I'm saying. We yeah, as we said, we've gone through this, and China doesn't fund Israel. Like, yeah, it's just overwhelmingly. Yeah, you
No,
can
they
just
just
see.
help. Well, who's it? This the Myanmar, right, against the Rohingya Muslims. Big fucking deal.
Yeah,
Right?
China doesn't.
Were they? Yeah. Okay.
Just because China's not being overt, China mainly uses soft power. Is that not correct, Kessel, in terms of all the shit they get up to, like, around the world?
So
is that not mostly what they do?
So what they actually do is they use economic and infrastructure building to kind of further their cultural reach into Africa. So all the infrastructure that they built for Africa, like they were hoping that shit will ingratiate them to the African population. Instead, what happened was the African population just heavily relied on these infrastructure and didn't do anything about improving their country or anything. And now they're kind of walking back on that shit. And their Belt and Road Initiative is also kind of borked with Iran where it is right now. So
don't they offer better rates, like the loans? Don't they offer better rates than the West?
It doesn't matter what the loan of their rate is. The rate of their loans is there's no expectation to be paid back anyway. Like they're expecting the Africans to default, and then they're like, "Oh, this place is ours." Then the infrastructure that's here, that's ours. We'll either take it away or we'll keep the land that's underneath it.
Yeah, well, I guess yeah, that's it for today.
But they're no longer interested, other than for the natural resources there. Like I don't understand when what people think that China is doing, building a giant fucking navy, if they're not trying to increase the sphere of their influence in the world.
What's wrong? Okay? They build a giant navy. That's completely in their own
You
right.
don't need a giant navy to defend yourself because they already have plenty of subs and stuff like that as well.
You do. From America, you do. Because
why would America just attack
anything's
China
possible.
for no reason? Do you think that's what they're going to do, Teuton?
In the future, yes, I do.
Why?
Think they'll do that. Yes.
The U.S. relies on China for a lot of
Yeah,
economic
I
shit.
understand this because even China understands that they're not going to go to war because of how economically tied they are to the U.S. consumer. They're not fucking stupid.
Well,
I mean, maybe the nationalism has like rotted your brain, but the reality is like if they can't like the buying power of a Chinese person is vastly different compared to a buying power of an American, unfortunately.
Yeah, obviously.
And like the wealth inequality is fucking enormous in China. So I don't even understand why you would support China as a state if their wealth inequality is much worse in China compared to any other
and
Western
their workers'
country.
rights are not good, and
Oh, their workers' rights are really good. You work or you die.
Wow.
Yeah, they have
Or-
one union. It's the one that's run by the state.
Yeah.
Okay, we're circling the drain. Can we?
Okay.
Yeah, you can say the last thing.
Well, for how you guys describe how bad China is, the citizens don't seem to agree. That's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
I would say the same if I lived in an authoritarian regime with only one party too, buddy.
Okay. I think
That's
like I understand that it's like will any Iranian admit to an American that Iran is a shithole?
Yes, they literally Iranians in
Iranians
Iran
currently
itself.
living
They
in
say the
Iran
government
will-
is shit all the time. They say the government is shit all the time. Yes,
Will they
the regime
actively
is shit.
tell Americans that it's shit?
Yes,
Like they'll
all
say,
the
"Oh, our
fucking
country's
time. Have you not
absolute
met
shit."
Iranians
Okay.
in
No,
the West?
Iranians in Iran, not in the West. Iranians that live in
Yeah.
Iran.
Even in
if,
Iran,
like,
even in
I
even
very
in
much
Iran,
doubt that.
they do say the government is bad. Yes, they do say the regime is bad. Yes, they don't say the country itself, but they say the government is bad. Yes, majority
but
do.
When people talk about Iran, they don't necessarily mean the regime, they mean the country, right?
Okay,
Well,
sorry,
in
guys.
the poll, they asked the party. They didn't say the view of the country. They asked what's your view on the Chinese Communist Party.
But like we
party
said, they're a one-party state that's heavily surveilled, and the government has a lot more control over the people
I'm
there
saying
than
the
they do in
heavily surveilled
Iran.
doesn't account for it because in Iran it's heavily surveilled. It's
I mean,
dictatorship.
is
and
Iran
people
really that heavily surveilled in comparison to China?
I
feel
mean,
like
there is
China's
censorship. There is
Yeah,
censorship.
there's censorship, but
Can-
that
Can
but
you go
it's
out on the
not.
street in front of a military, in front of a police officer, and say "fuck Khomeini"? No, you'll get.
No,
fucking
you can't
thrown in
do
the-
that. I'm not saying that you
You'll
can
get-
do that. What I'm saying is that I think China's probably better at, surveilling its people and
China's
controlling
smart. Thank God.
information and censoring their internet than Iran is.
Unlike
if
the
Iran,
Iranians,
if Iran had
they're
invested
smart.
more in domestic affairs than they had in trying to destroy Israel, they probably would be in a better situation like China. But
Yeah, and they're smart because they made their own social media platform like Douyin, which is the TikTok there, Bilibili, WeChat, Red Note,
Yes.
and they're smart
we
for
agree
doing
on
that. So
that.
they
They're
can't
smart
is
authoritarians.
so they can't
yeah.
they
I
can't
hate
make
this,
the
FYI.
Americans propagandize their population. So thank God they
Yeah,
did
they
that.
can do it to
No,
themselves.
They don't use American.
Okay.
They don't
we
use
got- okay.
American.
Two
Instagram.
times,
Okay,
guys. All right, I think
Yeah.
Loner wants to kick us out because I'm assuming
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
end the stream, Loner. Is that?
Well, no, I just need to move on.
No. he's-
Oh, okay. All right. I'm glad. I wondered if you were feeling better or not. So,
Oh, I'm getting
But,
there. Don't
yeah.
worry.
all right, awesome. Have a good
I mean,
stream.
as a
We'll all
socialist,
leave.
I think you should really not support the Chinese government because
Whoa.
they're
Also
not
true.
interested in the.
Yeah, damn it, he
Wealth
left. I was gonna
inequality.
ask him to stop by my stream sometime because I want to argue with him again. But
Well, you
anyway,
can find them in Discord.
that's true. I can.
Yes. Okay.
He just doesn't answer. Anyway, bye,
Bye-bye.
chat.
Bye.
All right, later.
Take care. Subscribe, you fucking assholes. I mean, sorry.